Marijuana isn't regulated. That's completely unacceptable.
A call for a ban on a synthetic drug that's available in many stores. Senator Chuck Schumer was in town this afternoon to talk about legislation in Congress to regulate the sale of synthetic marijuana. News 4's Ed Drench was there and joins us now to tell us what the federal government plans to do to curb the problem.
And Diana, I've been following this story for some time. I brought you the dangers of this drug last month. Now there's legislation that's working its way through Congress right now, banning sales, ending these legal highs.
What's inside this bag labeled Defiant is sold as potpourri on some Western New York store shelves. But there's a catch.
They're made for one purpose only: to give a cheap, quick high to the user.
Senior Senator Chuck Schumer has essentially declared war on these synthetic drugs, putting bipartisan legislation forward that would ban the sale of these so-called incense nationwide.
Powdered cocaine wouldn't be legal just because you stamped powdered sugar on the bag and added a few little ingredients. Synthetic marijuana shouldn't be legal just because it masquerades as potpourri.
Dr. Richard Blondell explained as more and more people use the drugs, there's increased responsibility for lawmakers.
These synthetic chemicals are always one step ahead of the regulation. It's like a chemical arms race with the drug dealers on one side and law enforcement on the other side, and they're sort of like winning.
For now, the DEA has banned the substance K2 or spice, but Schumer's bill would make the ban permanent. The entire chemical mixture used to create these legal highs would become illegal.
Schumer referenced a recent survey of high school students and said 1 in 9 have used these synthetic materials in their past. He also says it's easy for anyone to get their hands on.
And it wasn't hard for us to get our hands on something similar. Late last month, I went into this Lackawanna convenience store and bought an herbal substance called G13.
What'll it do?
Get your high just like weed. Just don't get drunk with it.
We don't know what these chemicals do. We don't know how to treat them. We don't know what problems we actually have to face.
If we don't get a handle on it quickly, it can become a crisis. We want to nip it in the bud before it becomes an epidemic like meth did a few years ago.
And they're waiting on its passage in the Senate right now. On a different note, though, the Seneca Nation of Indians has voted to ban synthetic drugs like K2 and spice and all of bath salts from its 5 territories around the state. They say it has nothing to do with last month's raid on a different Indian reservation, nonetheless doing their part.
All right, great update. Thanks, Ed.
No problem.